I want to have a little video here with the theme of cheese. An unusual thing, where in the Bible does it talk about cheese? One of my favourite characters is the Wallace and Gromit duo. Well, two characters, of course. Wallace, the perfect kind of ordinary day hero who loves cheese and loves to think about the usual home comforts of life. And of course, the real hero is always Gromit in that car, in that animation. But Wallace thinks about cheese quite a lot, as I do. Well, encouraging verse from 1 Samuel in the Bible, 1 Samuel 17, and I'm just going to read a little bit of it. And we are at verse, let's see where we got to, verse 20. Early in the morning, David left the flock with a shepherd, loaded up and set out, as Jesse had directed. He reached the camp as the army was going out to battle positions, shouting the war cry. And then it talks about how David, who then later became King David, of course, how David went down to the front lines of the battle, how he was visiting there, and he was sent on an errand. He was sent on a little task to be done. Now, it might not seem a very important task, but we read about it just beforehand. Now Jesse, that's his dad, said to his son David, "Take this ephah of roasted grain and these 10 loaves of bread for your brothers and hurry to their camp. Take along these 10 cheeses to the commander of their unit. See how your brothers are and bring back some assurance from them. They are with Saul and all the men of Israel in the Valley of Elah, fighting against the Philistines." So David was sent on a little mission. And what's good is he doesn't say, "Oh, well, I've got better things to do than that." He's obedient. He follows through. He sorts himself out. He gets going. He gets up to the front line of the battle, not because he's the one who's going to be the superhero, but the one who's actually just bringing in supplies. And he takes those supplies and does the job that he's been asked to do. And then what that then leads to is he starts trying to find out about what's going on in that particular battle. And he's been asked by his dad, find out how everyone's doing, find out about the rest of the family. Are they doing okay? Well, of course, the brothers are older. They're a little bit annoyed about him asking questions and him kind of putting his nose in things, just trying to work out what's happening. But in the process of all this, David finds out that in reality, they are overwhelmed, defeated. They are quite intimidated by Goliath. They probably find it quite difficult to admit that. They're probably finding it quite hard to come to terms with the fact that they've been up this front line for a long time. Everything's gotten to a bit of an impasse. They can't move forward. Everyone's really frightened of him. But David stands up and says, something can be done about this. He stands up and realizes that there's a vision in my heart. There's something that this guy can't just keep speaking against our God, and he can't just be intimidating everybody, and he can't be frightening the whole nation, and even our bravest soldiers seem to be unable to challenge him. Someone's got to stand up and take that challenge on. So my prayer today is that whatever the simple task that we've got in hand, it might be the most ordinary thing. It might be something that we feel like, oh, why have I been asked to do that? Or I'm not really interested in doing anything too mundane. Well, in the middle of all those things, in the middle of the simplest task, may God actually help us to be obedient, because in obedience, in taking those first few steps, we might find that actually it leads to amazing things, incredible things, great victories, great opportunities, things we never dreamed of, just because we were being obedient and we were being faithful and we were doing the job in hand. So bless you. May that be your experience today. May we realize that the small things often lead to great things.